In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories.
Hey! It's Warhorse, and you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and clean out your ears, because it's time to listen to the Raw and Order podcast. That's right, they're bringing you the best in all that meaty podcasty goodness in one, what is it, an hour? Two? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You need to listen to it right now, or else Warhorse is gonna, roll your ass!
Welcome to another episode of Raw and Order, the wrestling booking unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet that feels like it can just go live like 45 minutes late and give no explanation whatsoever. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
You don't feel like you can tell them that it was because 20 minutes for waiting for JLB, another 15 minutes watching Letterkenny clips, and another 30 minutes talking about Matt Damon movies / the Oscars. You don't think you can tell people that?
I didn't say we couldn't tell them. I just said we weren't gonna. But I guess you made a liar out of me.
No, we're not gonna talk about it.
Fucking making me a liar. Congratulations. Now we're demonetized because I cussed in the first 15 minutes.
Is that what it takes? Is the first 15
I don't know.
minutes?
I don't know if it's 15 minutes or 15 seconds or 15
hours
or whatever. There's something about that that happens. We do need to say it happened while we were in the intro, but big thanks to Big JC65. Subscribe 7 months in a row.
7 Moseys.
7 Moseys. 7 McGiggies. I don't know. I don't have another thing for them.
Is there a special name? I mean, I know that
7 Magoos, 7 Montheroonies. Anyway, I am in a weird mood, as you can maybe tell. It has been a week. It has been a week for me. And I didn't even
been in a weird mood.
What?
A week since you haven't been in a weird mood?
No, it's been a week that I have been in a weird mood.
Oh,
it's this week. So, this is not wrestling related. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. Big surprise, right?
what?
I got approached at my real job this week. Not even approached, right? So, so at the job that I currently do, I work in one department, and we're connected to another department that does a similar but importantly different job, right? The person who works that other job recently left for a different job with a different company that pays more and better benefits for them, and more power to them, right? That's what you do. You go to the job that's going to make you happier, make you more secure. No anger towards them. The company that I work for then proceeded to not put out job ad for hiring someone to replace this person. Half-heartedly put out notifications to a couple other departments and say, hey, do you have anyone who wants to come do this job? And then decide, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to take that job. We're going to make the people in this other area, my area, just start doing this other person's job as well. So we get assigned a meeting that says, hey, starting next month, you're going to do a whole ass other person's job in addition to your own job. To which I respond, how much more is it going to pay?
What is the additional compensation? Yes.
And they say no additional compensation. This is just it's now part of your job. And I say, I am not doing more job without more pay. That's the transaction of working, right? Right? You give me money, I do a job, right? You want me to do more job, you give me more money. This is the transaction that we signed up for, right? And they wanted to just assign me a whole ass another person's job, have me start doing the job of 2 people, without any additional monetary reward. To which I said, you can stick it.
So you quit?
Did not quit. I said, I'm not doing it, right? You hired me for one job. I'm doing that job. I'm doing it well. Necro, to answer your question, not unionized, right? Unions in America are tough, especially in Nebraska. Nebraska works really hard to bust union. And I shouldn't say Nebraska. America is set up in a way that companies can work really hard to bust unionizing opportunities, right? No, yeah. So to answer your question, Necro, there, not union, just full-time at-will employee. But I said, no, you hired me. I have my contract that I signed when hiring, and it says, here's what my job duties are. And I am.
You said duty.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I am not taking on additional duties without additional compensation. Which I want to point out, almost every state that I know of, their unemployment requirements, if you have to file for unemployment, one of the questions that they ask is, was there a change to your work contract? And if you say they assigned me more duties without additional pay, that almost always qualifies you for unemployment because they consider that not good cause for firing, or good cause for quitting. Either way. But I know. I got hired to do my job. I'm going to continue to do my job. I am not interested in taking on another job without additional pay. If you want me to do more work, then you give me more money for it, right? And the other person in my department who got the same thing said exactly the same thing, right? If you want me to do more work, you will pay me more money. As of right now, I still have a job. And so I don't have to find another place to work, but I'm going to get pushback from them on this. But they literally came to me on Friday. They had another meeting, and they said, yeah, my boss, and here's the deal. I want to be clear here. My direct boss is not the one behind this decision. My direct boss is just as angry about it as the rest of us because he understands that, you can't just expect people to take on additional duties without something more.
Well, and if you're spreading that out over 3, 5, 7 people, okay, quarter raise for each of you, or 50-cent raise for each of you. That's a monetary win for the company and a monetary win for you guys.
Now, it would take a lot more than a quarter an hour raise for this. Here's the deal: the other job, the person who did the other job, got hired the exact same day that I got hired, and made more than me from day one. And I know that for a fact because that job is considered more difficult than our job. It's considered more intensive than my job. So I know how much that person was making. And if you're going to split that job amongst 3 people, then I'm not saying you take their salary and cut it 3 ways, but I'm saying you can throw an extra couple dollars my way. All 3 ways. They could give all 3 of us $3 an hour and still be paying less.
Well, they're splitting it amongst 3 people, and it's Nebraska's minimum wage. And I know it's not, but it's Nebraska's minimum wage. That is still $3.33 a person.
That's my point. They could give us $3 an hour each.
I thought they'd be splitting it amongst 7 or 8.
Nope. Three total people would be taking the work. And that's the deal. They could give us each $3 an hour more, and they'd still be paying less than hiring a minimum wage employee. Right.
And I think all of you might consider that fair.
Yeah. But what we don't consider fair is just do it. In fact, they pulled us aside and they said, we just want to make sure that you guys understand the opportunity that we're offering you. Because that job is considered a stepping stone pathway job to other promotions, right? People who do that job often then move off to this area or that area down the road. The thing is, two things. A, that's effectively just like coming to me and say, we want you to do this job for exposure, right? Oh, you're in a band? We want you to perform at this club, but we're not going to pay you anything for it. You're just going to get the exposure. You know, exposure doesn't fucking pay my bills.
If you were in a band and MJF offered you to play his bar mitzvah for exposure, would you do it?
No. Because exposure doesn't pay your bills. And here's the deal. You talk to any person, any band that's been through it, and they will say the same thing. You talk to the top rock bands, Metallica or fucking System of a Down, or
Feed Me.
They will say no. Exposure doesn't pay your bills, right? Go to any place that will pay you, but you don't do things for exposure. It's the same thing with artists, right? Oh, you're a really, really good digital artist. I want you to make the cover picture for my podcast. But I'm not going to pay you any money. I'm just going to pay you an exposure. No, I'm not going to do it, right? Because exposure doesn't pay my bills. Do you know what does pay my bills? Dollar bills, right? Right?
You're saying bills pays you his bills?
Yes. There's a TikToker, and I can't remember what his name. I think he had to change it a couple times. But his whole thing is, like, he's a worker in a blue-collar job, you know. And he's on the floor, and his boss is up there talking. It's like, we need to figure out something we can do to increase production around here. So we're thinking maybe like a pizza party, or you know, I don't know, bring in a taco bar someday or something like that. What do you guys think would help increase production? And he says, money. Dollar bills. Yo, what do you think? I come here for my health? Hey, Jimmy, they pay you $2 more an hour. You gonna work harder? $2 more an hour harder. It's almost like it makes sense. That's what it comes down to, is they want me to do more work. They're going to pay me more money, right? And what I know right now is me and the other person in my department that would be taking on this, who both have said no to it, right? I know right now that we're the only people that currently do our job at this place. So if they fire us for doing this, then suddenly they've got nobody doing that person's job or our job.
And now your manager has to hire 2 people and train 2 people.
Yeah, train at least 2 people, right? On top of that, right, my job is state mandated. It's got state ramifications to it. My job, if it does not get done in a timely manner, there are state fines that get levied to my company and then get passed down to our clients. So if we stop showing up to do my job, if I get fired, right, they get hit in a bad way. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run if they don't get it figured out within a week, right? It's a big deal. It also could cost their clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run. So at least I know that they aren't likely to just fire us, because if they fire us, then suddenly nobody's doing our job whatsoever. And there's nobody else right now who knows how to do our job, right? Like, literally nobody, except for my boss, who's got a lot on his plate and would suddenly be doing a whole lot of stuff. So I feel like I'm at least in a good position for that. Now, I may have hurt future promotional things here, but the simple fact is I don't do shit for free, right?
I mean, a couple of years you did this podcast for free.
Now, I paid to do this podcast. That's not for free. This is recreation, motherfucker.
That's legit.
So yeah, that was my big thing this week. I'm just like, nah, man. You pay me money, I'll do it. It's not what I want to do. I very specifically did not apply to do that job because it's not what I want to do. But you pay me money to do it, and I'll do it. I won't be the happiest camper, but I'll do it, right? But you don't come to me and say, hey, we want you to do an entirely separate job for free. Oh, but it'll be good exposure. It's a good way to...
Did they actually give that terminology, good exposure?
They used opportunity. They say, we want you to understand the opportunity that's in front of you for this. Because this job is a stepping stone to this job and this job and this job in the company. Now, I am going to point out that all three of the this job, and this jobs that they point out were jobs that I very specifically do not want. Right? I just don't. I don't want to do those jobs. Those jobs have ramifications and job duties that are not in line with what I like to do. Right? Most of them have to do directly with contacting people.
Clients.
And I have to use words carefully because I don't want to go into too much on what exactly
stakeholders.
No, because I currently have to contact clients, right? But this job would be contacting individual employees. Let's use that word. About their things, and I don't want to do that, right? I worked for 30 years in some form of customer service, customer-facing job, right? And I specifically applied for this job because the job that I work now, I do not have to deal directly with people. So that's why I hired.
And that's an obvious weakness of yours that you don't like people.
Yeah, fuck people. People suck. People are the worst.
Anyway, we're here for a wrestling podcast. I apologize that your week is going shitty. But on the bright side, you stood your ground and you're happy with the result thus far.
Yeah, so far. Can't complain. Anyways, that's enough bitching about a work.
Doctor Strange here, 6 months in a row.
Six mojis. 6 mojos.
You are a month behind one guy, but that's okay.
Yeah. Maybe someday Big JC will slip up and miss a month. And
he might. And then Strange Hair will beat him.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's talk professional wrestling. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Because that's what all the people come to this show to hear.
So I'm gonna just go straight into it. God damn it. Like, they have it set up for, they still at this moment, 3 weeks into the 7 weeks, or 4 weeks into the 7 week cycle, pre WrestleMania from the last pay-per-view. Premium live event. They still have it set up so that Sammy could be in the main event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they actually even teased it heavier on SmackDown.
And motherfucker, if they aren't probably still going to make it this stupid tag team match.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
They started setting that up, too.
Mm-hmm. They teased.
You started setting up the wrong thing, man.
They're trying very hard to have their cake and eat it, too. Like, literally, they're trying to be like, look, he's still main event caliber. We still love him. We still have all of that stuff and everything. He could be in the main event, but we're not. We're going to put him in the tag. But he could be.
freaking set up. Like, just put him in it. Take both titles off of Roman and do it in a way that, quote unquote, protects Roman.
Yep, I agree. That's the way they should do it. And then we get the feel-good story of Sami Zayn as champion for a short period of time.
And the feel-good story of Cody Rhodes coming back.
Yep. And we don't have to keep Sami Zayn as champion for very long. It can be a couple weeks, a month.
April. Yeah, give him a full week. Have the challenge made the next week or something.
I would say let him,
Jay be the challenger.
Yeah,
that way Roman's taking a break.
Yeah, let him get through one PLE cycle. You know what I mean? Before he loses.
Yeah, I would say that too. But if they wanted to make it 2 weeks, they can make it 2 weeks.
But that's my point. They have that option, and it gives us all the feel good moment. And here's the deal: they backed themselves in the corner. I think this is why they're trying to play it both ways, is because they know. I think in stadium the crowds are behind Cody, but online the crowds are 100% behind Sami Zayn.
It's the
and I think
the online is the I want Cody as well, but I'm choosing Sami Zayn over Cody.
Yeah,
I'm not upset if you give Cody a title.
I think they're worried that they will be upset if they give Cody the title over Sami Zayn. More specifically, I think they're worried that they're going to have a Daniel Bryan sort of situation where they don't put the title on him, and it doesn't matter who they put the title on, the crowds turn on him, right? Cody Rhodes wins, the IWC is going to be like, it should have been Sami the whole time. So that's why we give them the option, because you can give Sami one title, give Cody the other title, have both sides happy. The Cody fans will be like, yeah. The Sami fans will be like, heck yeah. Right? There's no loser in them.
Shit, you can even build for a title versus title setup where there's a draw and they're both like, okay, well, I guess we're both good.
Yep. Plus, you can aim for some other things like fucking. There's still a lot of tension between Sami and KO. Sami suddenly is champion. Is KO gonna be like, now I want my shot? We're not friends. I want my shot.
I supported you, bro.
But that being said, fitting that tonight was the Oscars, because I do want to say the Oscar goes to Jay.
Yeah, I didn't see
for that
coming.
Raw ending.
I did not see that coming.
I kind of saw it coming, but it still was really well done. Like,
it was a lot longer. I mean, it took him a while.
there was like pain on his face when he walked by Jimmy in the ring. And then went out. And the longer they lingered on Sami and Jay standing side by side, I was like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. He's going to do it. Out there it is. You know what I mean? But really quickly, I'm going to put this up. Necro Eric wants to talk really quickly that Action Wrestling was pretty awesome this weekend. Some insane CMLL and other Lucha Libre. There were 4 straight nights of live action in Australia on Fight. He enjoyed freelance wrestling in that and the double shot of deathmatch wrestling in Tennessee by ICW No Holds Barred. GCW in Montreal was meh, but had a really bloody main event, and the New Japan Cup has been rolling on here almost at the quarterfinals. So if you're not mainstream wrestling fans, it looks like there's a whole lot of independent stuff that you can watch still going on. Whole lot of fun stuff going on. He says this week, No Man's Land Wrestling, If It Bleeds, and GCW's Eye for an Eye in New York on Friday. ICW No Holds Barred, Pit Fighter X16, and Greektown Wrestling in Toronto on Saturday with big UFC pay-per-view MMA event on Sunday. And GCW Worst Behavior from Toronto, Canada. And 4 shows from New Japan Pro Wrestling and the New Japan Cup Tournament continuing. Probably some other wrestling and Stardom Wrestling. But I'm really looking forward to Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Grand Princess Stadium show. A lot of good stuff to watch, I'm sure. I just need Maki Ito to come back to AEW. That's what I need.
Speaking of AEW.
Speaking of.
Congrats to Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks.
2 of them over Jericho in less than a week.
Yeah. Congrats to Powerhouse Hobbs for winning the TNT title.
Becoming a heel.
Well, he was already a heel, but now he's a heel that's sided with QT Marshall.
Yeah, apparently Stokely Hathaway's gonna die, so that's why they didn't have him side with Stokely Hathaway.
Well, here's the deal. I will give him credit for this. We talk about AEW doing long-term storytelling. I don't know. I can't say for certain this was planned, but like a year and a half ago, QT Marshall used Powerhouse Hobbs to do something. I can't remember what it was.
I owe you one.
And he said, at the end of that, I owe you. Right? I owe you and I'll pay you back. And then here he comes out and he plays good on his owing. So it's sort of long-term storytelling if it was planned to be that way. But I just hate QT Marshall. And everyone's going to say, you're supposed to hate him because he's a heel. And I say, fuck off. I hate him. What else happened on Raw? Bobby Lashley delivered a message to Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
I have an extreme amount of difficulty investing in the Bray Wyatt stuff right now.
Yep.
Because of this turn in the storyline.
Yep.
It makes me feel like Vince is in control.
Yeah, both the Bobby Lashley and the Omos versus Brock Lesnar, just to me reek very much of Vince's pulling some strings.
Yeah.
But there is some interesting stuff happening elsewhere though. Bianca Belair defeated.
I thought you were going to talk about. Oh shit! What's his name? The punter, and what he said.
I can get to that in a minute because I'm gonna go down on what happened on Raw and SmackDown, and then we can talk a little bit more about like what McAfee said and everything. Bianca Belair defeated Carmella, but the real important thing with this is they're putting Carmella and Chelsea Green kind of together, as both stuck up self-centered bitches. Which
I'm here for it.
I don't hate it, so I'm fine with that.
I'm here for it.
But so Logan Paul had an in-ring segment where he knocked out Seth Rollins, and
I forgot about that. Yep,
and I mean definitely setting that up even more. Omos defeated Dolph Ziggler, whatever. Johnny Gargano got a win on Finn Balor. And then Edge came and attacked Finn Balor because, of course, we can't let it end. We can't move Finn Balor onto a different feud where maybe a fun feud with Johnny Gargano would be kind of fun, but no, you gotta keep Edge in the thing.
Do you feel like Edge asked for his retirement and then was like, "But I want all of them against Balor"? So they're fire matches.
I don't know. I just don't know. Piper Niven defeated Nikki Cross. John Cena came out and destroyed Austin Theory, but then accepted his challenge.
That was a weird swerve. I'm not going to do it. And then there really wasn't a reason given that he was going to do it.
Well, it just finally was like, listen, you pushed me far enough, I'm going to do it. But here's the deal. I'm torn because this is obviously them saying, let's do the Roman promo storyline again, because Roman was not good in promos, and the fans hated him, and yada yada yada. And then we send John Cena out, and John Cena gave the "you're not the man, you're not the guy, you're just a guy" thing, and
So you learn how to cut a promo.
Yeah, and eventually now Roman's at the top of the game, and I think they think this is going to do that with Austin Theory. The problem is, I think this tore down Austin Theory too much. Like the whole thing that Cena said,
acting like you don't know who he is just garbage.
Well, but no, it wasn't even that he acted like he didn't know him. He said, "I'm doing this to save you, because I take this match against you, and you lose the match, you lose, because a part-timer, John Cena, beat you. But I take this match and you win, you still lose, because all you did was beat a part-timer has-been John Cena." You know what I mean? And it just, I don't know, it just seemed too much tearing down Austin Theory. And I kind of agree with it. I don't see either ending of it lifting Austin Theory up now, right? I think he was right. There's no positive outcome to this for Austin Theory. But really quickly, Necro's answering my Maki Ito's in a big tag team match at the stadium show with Miyu I get tongue-tied on Japanese last name. Yamashita, facing the Monster Tag Team Champions of Wasteland War Party, Max the Impaler and Heidi Howard. That's a Monster Tag Team. Those are names I do know, and that's Monster. After they won Tokyo Joshi's tag title tournament to earn a shot at the titles, should be a massacre. He says, Yuka Sakazaki is facing Mizuki for Princess of Princess Championship. It should be wicked. Really like Tokyo Joshi promotion as a whole. I like Yuka Sakazaki, and I wish AEW would use her more, but the problem is, and this is a problem AEW has with most of their Joshi wrestlers that they bring in, they have no character other than, I'm a really good Joshi wrestler. And Yuka Sakazaki has a character, and they're just like, but she's Yuka Sakazaki. She's just a good Japanese wrestler. So, moving on. Chad Gable defeated Baron Corbin by submission. And then Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish challenged Damage Control to a 6-women tag match at WrestleMania.
I gotta ask, do you think they're just using Baron Corbin to put other people over until his contract's up?
No,
it's starting to feel like they're not going anywhere with his story.
I think there's a storyline of we have to tear Baron Corbin down to build him back up again. Obviously, the storyline with JBL wasn't getting him over. So let's tear him down. Let's take him back to Sad Corbin again. And let's then build him back up as a monster.
For my money, he has not had a better gimmick than Constable Corbin. I don't understand why they don't do it.
Everyone
here's
online,
the deal. Adam Pearce is not a great authority figure.
Everyone online hated the outfit that he wore as Constable Corbin. I didn't. I thought wrestling in a suit looked great, but that's me, right? But everyone else hated it.
I suppose you ought to hate it, you know? I mean, it added to the "you're a prick."
Yeah. Get to what I was talking about here, Necro says he believes that the Joshi experiment's pretty much over in AEW, and I kind of agree. They don't present them as a star, really present them as anything. Says, it was successful for Hikaru Shida, but you're right, her gimmick was just that she's Japanese. They even have Mei Sakura, who was the most obvious gimmick of the circus conductor, but still somehow present her as just a Japanese wrestler gimmick. That's it, right?
They
just like, hey, there's...
I love
Hikaru Shida
as Sweet Tiny, just a Japanese wrestler.
Yes. And I wish I do think the Joshi experiment is more or less over in terms of they're not gonna necessarily present Joshi matches. But I do think we're gonna start seeing some of those Joshi wrestlers used more. Because they're obviously going, and we'll talk more when we get to AEW. They're obviously going the AEW wrestlers, the AEW originals versus the Invaders storyline for the women, and that's a chance to start bringing these Joshi wrestlers who've been there since day one to the forefront because there's no WWE tie for any of them.
Correct.
So, moving on to SmackDown. The big thing on SmackDown was Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn attacked the Usos, which is what we were talking about there of them teasing that Sami Zayn might still be main event, might be added to the match, might be something. Obviously, KO isn't siding with Sami Zayn right now, doesn't trust him, but Cody obviously does for now. So they just need to make it a triple threat and just pull the trigger on that. You also had Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross versus LA Knight that ended in a double pinfall. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre got pinfalls at the same time. So it was going to be whoever won challenges the IC title, Gunther at WrestleMania 39. But now they're going to have another match for the title, for the number one contender shot. Because this is where there's part of me that's like, well, they very specifically made it so this would not be a triple threat match. Could that be because they're saving the triple threat match concept for one other? I just want to have hope, man.
If you were a man who prayed, bud, you would be praying out loud right now.
I just want to have hope, man. Rey Mysterio was announced as the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame, which I have a slight issue with.
As he's still wrestling and hasn't,
because he's still an active wrestler. In fact, he had a match just last week and still in an active storyline.
Sounds like Conan is the one inducting him, though. So.
Most likely, and that's probably the best choice. I can't.
I really thought it'd be Dominic, but you have a storyline that doesn't work for right now. So.
Yeah. Now here's the question: do they kayfabe it up and have Dominic show up?
Fuck! That would be so.
The induction
Don't name
ceremony.
the match until then. Don't even name the match until Saturday.
Exactly.
Night or Friday night.
Friday night at the Hall of Fame, or is it Saturday afternoon? I can't remember.
Thursday, whatever, yeah.
Whatever it is. But have Dominic show up while Conan's inducting Ray in and just do the same sort of thing that he did on Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's and
fucking ruin his day again.
Maybe. I don't know. Judgment Day defeated Legado del Fantasma.
Garbage. Legado del Fantasma should not lose.
No. There was wasn't interference because Damian Priest was part of the match, but he came in when he wasn't legal. There was a ref distraction and he super kicked Cruz del Toro, and then Dominic was able to roll him up for it.
I blame the Young Bucks for that.
Yeah.
Not everybody should do a super kick. I'm just saying.
Yeah, here's the thing is, I think...
blame the Young Bucks, blame the Usos, blame them all.
Yeah. Hey, I've come to say, when it's called a super kick, it's not a finisher. It's just a setup move. When it's called another phrase, like Sweet Chin Music, it's a finisher. Anyways, War Viking Raider Experiment defeated Braun Strowman and Ricochet, which is a phrase that it doesn't really make sense to me, but okay.
Maybe they're going somewhere with those guys, finally.
Charlotte defeated Shotzi with the figure 8. And they're still going forward with the Ripley versus Charlotte storyline.
Well, yes, they're not going to stop that storyline, but
Well, but my point is they then went with Ripley came out and
oh,
went jaw jacked with them. Necro talks about the great women talent on the indies that WWE or AEW could raid. So it's just a waiting game mostly. There is a waiting game for it. Like I said,
there have been, but there's also some that don't want to come off the indies or did come off the indies, and they have other personal issues, i.e., Kylie Ray. Not Kaylee Ray, Kylie Ray.
Yeah, there's another. I'm gonna bring up a name that is potentially one of the most talented wrestlers currently, unsigned in terms of the women's wrestling. That's kind of a persona non grata right now on all of them. And that's Tessa Blanchard. But like if you go down the list of women that AEW currently has signed, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. They've got 34 women on their roster. Right. Currently signed. Now, some of them are out. AEW does. Some of them are out, like Thunder Rosa's out with her back injury. Paige Van Zant's out with a broken foot, and she sucks. Layla Hirsch is out with her knee injury. Chris Statlander's out with her knee injury. Anna Jay's out with dislocated ribs. Abaddon apparently has a broken collarbone. So there's a few of them out, but that still leaves almost 30 women that can be brought in for this storyline, this insiders versus outsiders sort of a thing. Needless to say, they can't call them outsiders. I'm going to be the first to say that. Can't call them outsiders.
Outcasts.
Yeah, so they're the outcasts. But so the incast versus outcast, that doesn't really work. But so we can go down here and we can say, in terms of the women's department, I would anticipate Tay Mello might end up joining the outcasts because she does have WWE ties. Serena Deeb might join the outcasts because
I thought we were going to get
WWE
right
ties.
alongside... as they were departing on Friday night on Rampage, I thought for sure we were going to get, the MMA star,
Marina Shafir.
Marina Shafir.
Well, they definitely,
they certainly
alluded to it, right? That's what I was going to say. Mercedes Martinez and Marina Shafir.
More so than they did Nyla Rose, which was interesting.
Yep.
I think they told a little story there that you couldn't, that wasn't obvious.
Yep. But Marina Shafir and Mercedes Martinez both have WWE ties that they can play into. We mentioned Leva Bates has a WWE tie.
You think that's going to cross over to ROH? You said Mercedes Martinez, so...
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to cross over to ROH, but Mercedes Martinez right now is signed to both rosters and is no longer the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, so... She could literally.
What a cool thing to actually have it cross over between both product lines, or even into New Japan, like the Bullet Club does.
Yeah.
Because then you could have Mercedes Money be part of it.
And speaking of Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Athena could be part of that group. So they've got about 10 or so women's wrestlers that they could pull into that group. That leaves about 20 women's wrestlers that could be on the other side of the group. Now, we've already seen Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter are on the AEW Originals team.
Which isn't entirely accurate because Britt Baker got her butt kicked by Nia Jax.
Yeah, but she was never signed. True. She was a one-time daily performer because she was just local talent. But you could have then you could easily have Hikaru Shida show up and be part of the AEW originals. Sky Blue has been showing up, so he's probably in there. Thunder Rosa, you could make a good argument for her being an AEW original when she comes back from her injury. Yuka Sakazaki can be an AEW original. I'm specifically looking at these and trying to choose ones that are not currently heels because
that's the outcast job.
Yeah. We gotta have face. So Riho can be one of the faces on the Insiders side. Chris Statlander can be there. Kira Hogan's been recently a face, so she could be in there. You've got some good options there. Reports have it that they might be looking at a blood and guts match between Outcasts and Insiders. So Red Velvet could be a good.
Yeah, Jade Cargill. I mean, she's a heel, but Jade Cargill's legitimately just a badass tweener.
Yeah, but she's got her own whatever coming up this week. Let's talk about AEW. Actually, what happened? We mentioned Ricky Starks got his second win over Jericho at the pay-per-view, but they're obviously continuing kind of along that line. The show started off with probably your favorite match of the night, Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal.
That wasn't at the pay-per-view. The second win was on Dynamite, wasn't it?
No, they didn't face off on Dynamite. They talked, but
or was it Rampage?
It was not on Rampage either.
I swear it opened.
Nope.
One of those two shows this week.
First match was Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal.
On
Your
Dynamite.
favorite on Dynamite. First match of Rampage was Sammy Guevara versus Action Andretti.
That's what was on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they did talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Starks had a whole promo thing where he addressed everything, and then eventually got attacked by Juice Robinson with the Bullet Club music.
That's right. Okay.
Important to note during the Orange Cassidy thing, they have in a weird I can't explain why it matters this way, but in a weird partnership with Warner Brothers and the movie Shazam 2 coming out, they have renamed the All Atlantic Championship the what is it now? It's not Intercontinental because
that would be what was.
That's what did they call it? Because it starts with Inter and International Championship. It's now the International Championship, which
actually
frankly
makes more sense because of the belt.
It makes more sense because of the belt, but I liked the name All Atlantic Championship because of the callbacks to like Mid Atlantic Championship. But yes, the belt didn't make sense because it had some non-Atlantic countries flags on it. But anyways, what else? Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho. And then, of course, this was where Storm and Saraya came out and helped her, and they spray painted the butt of Sky Blue with the L, and then Ruby Soho gave probably the best promo of her career so far, on why they did what they did, and basically it was that they came in and they should have been the heroes and they should have been, that stuff, and the crowd and AEW turned on them and didn't support them. So you then had AR Fox and Top Flight versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Daniel Garcia. The Jericho Appreciation Society got the win on that one. You had Dark Order versus Blackpool Combat Club. This obviously seems to be setting up Blackpool Combat Club to be the heels down the road,
Yeah.
which is really interesting when you compare to a promo that was delivered by Bryan Danielson on Rampage. Pre-recorded promo, I should say, where he was very obviously baby facing it up. So, are we maybe teasing a split with Combat Club where Bryan Danielson splits away because he can't be the heel with them? I don't know. Anyways, Rampage, like I said, kicked off with Sammy Guevara versus Action Andretti, which is to be perfectly honest, a feud I would like to see given some time to breathe, just because of the athleticism of both of these people.
Yes.
I would love for it to be taken a little bit longer, give some time to breathe into the pay-per-view match. And it might, because this ended with Daniel Garcia interfering to help Sammy Guevara win.
Yes.
You had the Acclaimed versus Jack Cartwheel and Starboy Charlie, which makes me all marble mouth.
Did you hear the was it Jericho on commentary that was like, with a name like that, you're bound for glory.
And the Acclaimed, got a pretty quick victory on it. I've heard of Jack Cartwheel and Starboy Charlie before, so I know they're probably very good. Obviously, Necro says Starboy Charlie wears some of the best overalls as his wrestling gear, some beast overalls. I can't remember. Do we have a picture here? No, it doesn't have a picture on this listing. Let's see if I can find what he was wearing. I feel like it might have been overalls, but
yeah, he was wearing overalls. Yes.
Let's see if I can find an image from it. Yes, he was wearing overalls. Can't find a good picture with him in the front, but in this one, he is standing behind Jack Cartwheel in his overalls. Jack Cartwheel had to hit us over the head with his name and do a cartwheel right at the beginning. Like, hey, just so you know, my name's Jack Cartwheel. I can do cartwheels. Necro says he's a great young star out of the LA area, so hopefully we...
LA.
Does he like tacos?
Best tacos are in LA.
Yeah, everyone in LA loves tacos. They're always like tacos. You ever tacos from that place? Everyone loves tacos. They make the best tacos in LA.
Best hiking's in LA.
Yeah, LA has great hiking. You never go hiking? Hiking. You better go over there hiking in LA. LA.
I would hope Necro gets that reference, but I'm guessing he spends enough time watching wrestling that he doesn't have time to watch Letterkenny.
Maybe if he watched some Letterkenny, he'd go to LA. LA. Anyways. What else happened? Takeshita versus Preston Vance. This was one of those. He says he lives in Letterkenny, so that shows literally his life. Well, you should go to LA. The weather's so much nicer in LA. It gets just as cold in LA, but it's like a different cold.
It's a dry heat because
it's a desert.
Because it's a desert in LA.
LA. My problem with Preston Vance versus Takeshita is these are both wrestlers that I feel they need to build. Preston Vance needs to be a monster, and Takeshita needs to be the underdog that wins.
I feel like Takeshita was the pre-built winner there, though.
That's my problem with it. Is they need to build both of these people, but they can't with putting them against each other in this match because I looked at this like they're gonna have Takeshita win because they're building Takeshita as the next recruit of fucking what's his name? Yeah, I'm blanking. Hand of God. Anyways. Who thought filming in my local town's bar and local grocery store with people that I know from high school would become insanely popular? Like what? They had Shoresy night this season at the Wolves game. Like, he legit lives in Letterkenny. The town, the place that they film it at.
That it's based on.
That they film it at.
Oh, wow. Cool.
He says they film it at his local bar and grocery store. Maybe you should move to L.A. L.A. Takeshita won.
Yes.
Nyla Rose versus Riho. This is another one of those that, like, I just wish, frankly, I wish they would allow both of these people to have characters. Because Nyla Rose gets almost nothing, like, character-wise anymore.
Oh, she's just the big powerhouse.
Comes out and is the big powerhouse.
92 wins.
Mm-hmm. And Riho, again, is just, look at me, I'm a great Japanese wrestler. I started wrestling at 9.
I also weigh as much as an average 9-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm. But Nyla Rose ended up losing to Riho. And then guess what? The Outcasts came down and beat up Riho and spray painted a green L on her butt.
That's what she gets for beating boy, my brain just is not working in terms of wrestler names.
Yeah, Nyla Rose.
No. Outcast, blonde.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm. How did I forget Tony Storm?
Other things, Mark Briscoe announced that the Ring of Honor tag titles are going to be up in a ladder match held in Jay Briscoe's honor to crown new champions. I would like to see new belts as well. But they didn't do the usual interview. They just had a pre-match video for the main event, but they still gave Mark Henry a chance to say, it's time for the main event.
Yes.
And noticeably absent, based on the news that recently broke, Vicky Guerrero did not come out with Nyla Rose.
That's true.
Reports have it that Vicky Guerrero has been asked to stay home for the time being while her contract runs out. I think this is a situation of AEW knows they are unlikely to get a contract worked out with her and would rather her not be on AEW one week and then WWE the next week. Because if her contract runs out, she could do that. So, since we know it's not gonna happen, let's let her sit at home. And then when she shows up, because I think she's going to show up in WWE as soon as her contract's up.
I think she's increasingly valuable to the Dominic and Ray storyline.
She is, especially since Dominic mentioned Eddie by name this week. Necro mentions that AEW is likely getting a third show. That is the news of the week there. They trademarked Collision, so AEW Collision is likely going to be the name. It is expected to be a 1-hour show and likely to take place as a Saturday night show. Which, it seems like there was someone on this show who kept saying they should have a Saturday night show. I wonder if that
Couple of
person's
us.
here tonight.
Well, it ain't fucking JLB. He's too dumb
Sure
to figure
wasn't
that out.
him. No. Welcome, Bruce Bain 067. We're talking generic about WWE, AEW, a little bit of everything. We just got done doing a rundown of AEW and WWE this week. We talked professional wrestling. But thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, just shoot us a comment and we'll hopefully answer it for you.
So there's the Pat McAfee statement. What do you take out of that?
What I take out of that is Pat McAfee doesn't specifically know anything. I don't think he does. But he also is...
Do I want to work for whoever that may be?
He also is a very savvy person when it comes to events, and he's keeping his options open because he very specifically doesn't say anything specific. He said, and I quote, because I'm pulling it up, "I have a baby girl on the way. What does that mean for my future with the WWE? I love it here, but they're allegedly going to be sold. Who's buying them, and do I want to work and make money for those people? Question mark. I don't know." That's very obviously very vague, right? But it does hint at, do I want to work for Saudi Arabia and make money for them? Maybe not. Because it's looking more and more likely that they are going to be the only ones in the running money-wise, right? Reportedly, Vince McMahon values the company at $9 billion and says that's what the selling price is, despite the market cap being $6.1 billion. So he's giving almost a $3 billion markup for it. Now, why is he doing that? Well, he wants more money. That's probably the biggest reason, right? Because the more money it sells for, the more money he gets, right?
And a piece to that is it sounds like Vince is a mandated member of the team if Saudi buys. And Vince wants to be a member of the team.
And that's why I said, I think I have
Then when he's
suspicion.
touching boobies, he can blame them. They have to pay for it, not him.
I suspicion that he set the price that high because he knew that almost none of the other potential contenders were going to make it to that price. And that puts it down to basically one potential group, and that's Saudi. Endeavor Group pulled out, announced officially that they're not interested in it, that they're going to focus on the UFC and their other stuff there. Disney would be able to if they wanted to, but I don't think they're going to pay $3 billion above market cap, right? That just doesn't make financial sense for Disney, I think. The Khans, Tony Khan and his dad, would have to get in partners and like investors to do it, and would have to take some significant chance to do it. So I really don't think it's likely the Khans are seriously going to. And I've said before, I think it's for the best that the Khans don't.
For us.
For
Not
us,
necessarily for them.
for wrestling fans in general, for the good of the business, for wrestlers, right? Here's the deal, right? If you're a wrestler, right now you've got two majors that you can go to. AEW / Ring of Honor or WWE, right? Yeah, Impact's up there, but it's not. And then there's all the indies like GCW and all that stuff. And then there's New Japan and all of that stuff over in Japan. But in America, it's WWE first, AEW / Ring of Honor second. But that means that you've got options financially, options in terms of negotiation, options in terms of work. I mean, Randy Orton very famously 3 years ago worked both sides against each other to get the best payout he could. And that worked for him. But if all three of those companies are owned by the same company, doesn't matter whether it's Tony Khan or Vince McMahon or Saudi Arabia or whatever, you lose all negotiation, right? Because you can't say, I'm going to turn down the AEW contract because WWE is going to offer me more. When WWE is owned by the same people, they're going to be like, nah, it's going to be the same contract for many of them. So it's not good for wrestlers if Tony Khan buys it. It's not good for us as fans. It's not good for us as a podcast if Tony Khan buys it. I'm on the record with what I think of the concept of Saudi Arabia buying it and what it'll do to my following. But I can't control what other people do, so you do you, boo-boo. I would like to see another group buy it, but I think just based on the way I'm seeing it, WWE, Vince McMahon is pricing it so that for a market of one. Necro does mention Elon could have bought WWE for a quarter of what he paid for Twitter. Dude lost so much money last year. Yeah. He's probably going to lose a lot more soon. Because he's likely going to face some potential federal and state charges for ADA violations. And those are some big, hefty fines that can come. And probably a lawsuit as well. So, anyways, he also mentions New Japan won't just pay anyone to go over there, so it's pretty limited in options if you're an American wrestler. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's better than only having one option. Exactly. I mean, in the end, if you want to get in on New Japan, you either have to work your way up through the dojo system, whether it's the American dojo and get well enough here that you go over there, or work your way up through another system like Ring of Honor, AEW, whatever, to the point that you can go wrestle some exhibition matches over there and get in. You can't just be Jack Cartwheel and expect New Japan to give you a call. You have to kind of work your way up to it. So, I have some packs of cards to open, and I was going to save them for Tuesday, but this week has been fucking great, so I'm going to do them today.
I want to open some cards. Damn it.
Hey, I got at least, I got some new cards. I got some cards I don't have before. I also got some duplicates, so there's that. But
Oops.
so first, new card. If I can separate them, they're sticking together. Static Cling.
Static Clings.
Jagger Reed. It's part of the Dyad on NXT 2.0. Did not have that card before. The former circus performer Reggie. Did not have that before.
Good Lord, he doesn't even get annulled anymore. Mm-hmm. He's just Reggie.
I do not believe I've got the standard Chronicles Roman Reigns. And to be perfectly honest, in terms of pictures on these cards, that's one of the better pictures that they've had. So
yeah, I mean, other than that, he looks like a really horny woman in porn. Waiting for it. No.
We got our Origins Damian Priest. That is definitely a duplicate. Remember, go into my duplicates pile, and if we get 10 paid subscribers, 10 new paid subscribers, we do a drawing for any subscriber.
Throw us your Amazon.
Yeah, subscribe through Amazon. We'll do a drawing for anyone. to win all of my duplicates, the entire stack of them, including that Damian Priest. I don't believe I have a Black Series Kevin Owens yet, so that's not going to be in the duplicate pile. But I do know for a fact I already have an Origins Gunther, so that's going to be in the duplicate pile. And I think I already have a authentic Ronda Rousey, so that's probably going to be in the duplicates pile.
Ooh, y'all can start one heck of a collection just by subscribing.
Yep, instantly someone will be pretty high up on their collection.
Keep in mind, if it's a numbered card and he has the duplicate of the numbers, he's just keeping the lower one.
Mm-hmm.
Lower number. You get the other one.
Before I get to this next pack, Necro mentions there was some controversy in the independent deathmatch wrestling scene this weekend. The ring announcer Larry the Legend has left ICW No Holds Barred and moved over to XPW. Says a lot about the toxicity in ICW No Holds Barred if this move is to go to XPW. Absolutely sad to see. Yeah, from what I hear, XPW is not the place anyone wants to be. So it's got to be pretty bad at ICW for you to be like, fuck it, I'll go to XPW. We've got a Sid Vicious.
As Sid Vicious, it's not Psycho Sid.
This is a new one. Michael Hayes. It's nice to get some new ones in this deck. A Flux Edition. Randy Orton.
Randy.
It's Randy. A XR for Legado del Fantasma member Cruz del Toro. I'm pretty sure this is a duplicate of JBL. A excellent luminance of the freakish physique of Big E.
You only say that because that video I sent this week.
No, I say it because he's got a freakish physique. Dude's a freak. And then I also think this Legacy card is a duplicate, a Legacy Triple H. So
He
gonna
wasn't
be some
in the Legacy.
excellent duplicate cards coming out of this, but also nice to see I'm getting some non-duplicates because
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty close to a full set of Standard Chronicles. So ooh, that's a nice one. Okay. Moving on. We got Stone Cold. Standard
That's a
Chronicle.
good one for you.
I think it might be. I know this one is not, but it's still always nice to see a Rhea Ripley. I think I've also already got Classy Freddie Blassie. A Bronze Series Chronicles Brock Lesnar.
Ooh.
A really nice Paul Bearer. I think this is a duplicate. Rookie Stars Wendy Chu. And I think this is my first Nikki Bella.
Yeah, because you had a Brie last week, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
I had Brie, but no Nikki. Yep, I'll open that one later. Wendy Chu is awesome. Big fan.
Not a great gimmick.
Okay. Necro definitely disagrees with you on the not a great gimmick line.
Really?
Yep, he really likes that gimmick. I don't hate it. Standard Chronicles Asuka, I believe that's a duplicate. Standard Chronicles Lex Luger, which I think is a duplicate.
I believe you're correct.
Standard Chronicles John Cena. Deja Vu, Nikki Bella, this time in an optics card. A really nice Green Series black card of Aaliyah. This is numbered. High number. It was a 82 out of 99. But that's still a really nice card.
Only 99 of them.
A Origins of Pretty Deadly's Kit Wilson. And then finally, an authentic Rhea Ripley.
Very cool.
2 more packs for me. One of them's on the floor, so I'll get that one in a second. Okay. Standard Chronicles Undertaker. This is definitely a duplicate. I know I've already got an Elektra Lopez Chronicle. A really cool limited edition 48 of 99 Green Chronicles Jug.
Very cool.
Get the green to show. A XR Hollow of Bobby Lashley. A playoffs Beth Phoenix. Bailey doing an elbow drop. And then a legacy of Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Let me tell you something.
And now I just gotta get this one down here. Last pack out of this. Okay. This is definitely a duplicate. Standard Chronicles, Dakota Leon. Standard Chronicles, Robert Roode.
Big Bobby.
A Bronze Legacy Undertaker. That's a nice one. A certified Bodie Hayward. I'm pretty sure this is a duplicate of Veer Mahan. It's funny how he
No
came
longer
and then he
coming.
left.
He's arrived.
He came and then he left.
Back to NXT.
Yeah. A season ticket, Asuka. And my final card for the night, a score edition, Drew McIntyre.
Gotta love some Drew.
I don't hate him. Some good packs there. Anywho's.
All in all, a good week in wrestling. A lot of questions.
Week in
That's always
wrestling, a lot
fun.
of questions. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to mention. MJF is celebrating his
Double bar mitzvah.
double bar mitzvah.
26.
Did you go and look at any of the pictures from his first bar mitzvah that he posted?
No, but I do want you to know that on a regular basis it pops up on my timeline that you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. So I look at a bunch of stuff from MJF, but I saw that you sent me the other.
Yep. He at his original bar mitzvah, it was WrestleMania themed. And he he says it's important to point out that he did the upside down W as an M in 2009, which was before Miz did it for his championship belt. It says, I've not sued out of immense respect for said person. Please join us on Wednesday as my re-bar mitzvah exclusively on AEW. But yeah, apparently AEWauctions.com. Let's see if that's still up now. Not AEW, WWE Auctions.
Yeah, I saw that you sent.
Auction, WWE.com. Let's see what's going on in the auction world for WWE. Heck, let's do this together.
Ooh.
So right now, on auction, on auctions.wwe.com, you can buy, these are the ones I'm most interested in, the match-used steel chair from SmackDown, June 3rd, 2022, Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. What else is cool that you can buy? Actually, let's do this. Let's go auctions. Well, that's not good. Okay. Categories. That's fine. Event memorabilia. Jimmy Uso autographed the Bloodline event worn hat. Sami Zayn autographed Intercontinental belt. Signed prints. Get some autographed trading cards. See if any of these are in the set that we're currently opening. Nope. Panini Prism. We opened those for a bit. But for just $375, you could get an autographed Select Phenomenon Flash Beckett Fanatics Witnessed Authenticated card of Rhea Ripley. It's a lot of dough. Bianca Belair autographed Funko Pop.
Paul Heyman Funko Pop.
Autographed. Braun Strowman autographed Monster of All Monsters event worn t-shirt. Which means it probably got pulled off of him because he tears them off all the time.
Yeah.
Find the Fiend. Solo Sikoa autographed We the Ones event worn t-shirt. Jay Uso autographed We the Ones event worn t-shirt. Even is dated 10/7/22. Some really great stuff on that auction. So hop on there and bid on some stuff. I'm not gonna. I ain't got no money. But anyways, anything else you want to talk about for this week in professional wrestling?
No, there's been a time change, and yeah, it's supposed to be an hour earlier than it is right now, but I was up on normal time today, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with going to bed.
I'm okay with that as well. Oh, Meltzer's match ratings for AEW Revolution were in. Let's talk about those
that's
real
right.
quick, and then let's cut it loose. Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe versus Woods, Davari, and Nice. That was the kickoff show match. 3.5 stars. Starting on the show, what was your worst match of the night?
My worst match of the night, I had the Jungle Boy match.
Jungle Boy match. Meltzer gave it 4 stars.
Because I was being different.
Yeah, Meltzer gave it 4 stars. Meltzer's worst match of the night, Wardlow versus Joe, 2.25 stars.
I didn't hate that match.
It was my worst match of the night, so
I
I
understand.
guess I agree with Meltzer here. The women's
Fucking
match, the women's match, which was JLB's worst match of the night, second worst with only 3 stars. And the 4-way tag, which also was up there for my worst match of the night because it's got fucking Jeff Jarrett in it. Fuck you, Jeff Jarrett. 3.25 stars. What was your best match of the night?
I had the trios match. I know that Meltzer gave the Iron Man match the best match of the night, obviously.
Trios match, 4.75 stars. It was his third best match of the night. On ours, we all, when we were doing the review, because you weren't on the review one, we both said the Iron Man match, 5.75 stars. Hangman versus Mox, 5 stars.
And I didn't think that was a 5-star match.
Now, I'm going to say my favorite match of the night was the trios match. But favorite and best can be 2 different things.
Yes.
And in this case, I argued that my favorite match was not the best match. So, I'm going to say this. My favorite Iron Man match of all time is still going to be WrestleMania Brett versus HBK. Was it the best Iron Man match of all time? Nah.
Meh.
Some would argue that this one was a better Iron Man match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But yeah, Starks versus Jericho, 4 stars. Jungle Boy versus Christian, 4 stars. House of Black versus Elite, 4.75. Hayter versus Ray versus Ruby, 3. Hangman versus Mox, 5. Wardlow versus Joe, 2.25. 4-way tag, 3.25. And MJF, Bryan Danielson, 5.75. That does represent the first 5-star match of MJF's career. But not the first for Bryan Danielson, because he's Bryan fucking Danielson.
Yeah, work rate's his thing.
Interesting thing with this, though, as of right now, AEW has had 10 5+ star matches in its existence. Who would you think appears in the most 5-star matches in AEW existence?
Oh, CM Punk or Kenny Omega. But it's probably Bryan
CM
Danielson.
Punk is in, I believe, 1 of them. So that. Kenny Omega's in 3. The Young Bucks are in 3. Hangman Page is in 4.
Wow.
Hangman Page has the most 5-star matches in AEW's existence so far.
Still
Now,
mark.
One of them was teaming with
Kenny Omega
versus the Young Bucks.
Young Bucks. Yep.
One of them was against Kenny Omega. And one of them was against Bryan Danielson. And the final one was against Moxley, which ain't nothing to shake a stick at either. So, and something can always be said for 5-star matches being a group effort. You don't get a 5-star match by yourself. But
Well,
I just think it's still interesting.
I mean, Omega does, but that's...
Well, Omega gets 5 stars just for signing his name.
Yeah.
Just
We have a
like
5-star
the
contract signing. What?
But I do think it's interesting that Hangman Page still represents the largest percentage of 5-star matches in AEW history.
So do you think that Meltzer would have given him less than 5 stars if he hadn't said, "Is that going to cost me a star, Meltzer?"
Or
Dave.
Or was it a 6.75 star match and that did cost him a star?
The world may never know.
We may never know, but let the conspiracy start. Get in the comments. But yes, on that note, let's see if there's anything from Necro we need to mention. Necro does mention he likes Windy Chew because he's a really big fan of comedy wrestling through like Chikara and DDT Pro. So it's a really goofy gimmick, and that's what he likes about it. He liked the Aaliyah card because she's Team Canada. And he said cheers for some reason.
Probably a good night.
Might have been when we were saying good night. What time is it? Yeah, it'll be about the right time. So we will go ahead and wrap things up for the WBU this week. A little bit shorter of a show. But, you know, we started a little late, and I vented for the first 20 minutes or so. Don't let jobs take advantage of you. That's all I can say to people, right? Get paid for the work you do. Because here's the deal, right? And I know my father-in-law is going to be all like, no, you should take on extra duties because then they're going to see how hard you work and they're going to promote you. That's not the way corporations work anymore. The way corporations work is you take on extra duties and then they just become your duties forever. And then you become indispensable at your role because you're the only one who does all these duties. So they can't promote you because no one else would do all of these things. So now you're stuck there.
Or you do a really, really good job and they pass you by for promotions or not promotions. Maybe they just hire somebody from outside the company over and over and over and over.
Because you've made yourself
again.
indispensable at the position that you're at. Right? They're like, well, we can't promote him because he's really, really good at that job. And if we promote him, then we'd have to find someone else to do that job. So instead, we're going to hire other people to do
Oddly, they did,
that
didn't they?
job.
Still have to find somebody else to do that job.
So, do the work you get paid for. Don't let corporations take advantage of you. That's all I have to say. On that note, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Wrestling Booking Unit. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can hit that little subscribe button and use your Amazon Prime free subscription to subscribe to us for free. And
A lot
that helps
cheaper to
us
get
out a
those
lot.
cards than it cost us.
Yep, and we get those 10 subscriptions. Someone wins a huge stack of cards. I think the stack is like this big now. and it's just getting bigger. And there are a lot of really good cards in it. Start your collection off right off the bat with that. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm going to pay for shipping. It's yours for free if we get those 10 new subscriptions. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on the YouTubes and the Twitters and the Book of Faces and all of those places. You can follow me on pretty much any social media at Raw and Order WBU, just like it says right down below my name there. That's TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, pretty much any of the places except for Facebook, where you have to use at Pissant Podcast because of reasons, right? You can follow DA Fave at
DA Vincent Kayfabe on Twitter.
Yep. You can follow Necro Eric at Necro Eric on Twitch, where he hopefully is going to start giving like all sorts of independent wrestling breakdowns and shit like that, because he really, really should. He really should. But yes, you can also support us by going to our merch store. Link is in the bio. We actually have 2 merch stores. Go to either one. There's all sorts of great stuff you can get, like Pissant Podcast or Those Who Can't Wrestle podcast shirts, or my favorite, Your Favorite Movie is Fake shirt. So you can go all over the place and get all of that stuff.
Even the documentaries.
Yep.
Those are still fake.
Still fake.
Yeah, the reenactments are fake.
But you can do that as a great way to support. But also the free way to support is to share this with your friends so other people know about our podcast. It's a great way to help us out. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and close the book. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you soon.
Bang.